In today's lesson, we're going to try and work on getting a actor to start circling small and spiraling out till he gets to a size of just about as big as we could possibly fit. And then we'll want him to just continue to go around in that position. So for step one in our SpiralMan, we'll start him somewhere in the middle, and we'll let him move gradually with the amount he moves gradually increasing and the degree with which he turns each time also changing. So let's create another subclass. I'm going to call this one SpiralMan. And I'll go with the boy in green here, I think this time. Green boy I'll go with here. And this will be my SpiralMan. So let's open the editor. And we're going to start from scratch here because we have no idea. So it's not similar to what we were doing before. So let's start by turning. Well, let's start with a small move, which will move to the right. And let's see. I can't spell. Let's move slightly to the right, like for example, let's move 10 to the right. And then after we move 10 to the right, let's turn maybe 30 degrees. Well, let's see what that looks like. And let's grab a SpiralMan. I guess it didn't compile correctly. Oh, there we go. Let's grab a SpiralMan, put him out here, and let's see what happens. So that would be perfect for the start of the spiral. And we want him to gradually spiral a little further and further out. So let's pause, reset this. And I want you to play with this and see what you can get to happen. So if he moves 10 and then turns 30, and we let the 10 become more each time, let's see if we can see what that looks like. Well, let's just try it on the next line. So if we move 10, then 30, and then we say move 15 and change this from 30 to, I don't know, 33 or maybe 27, we really won't see what happens because it'll turn back the next time it comes through to 10 and 30 and then 15 and 27 or whatever we do. So we need to make some variables. So my suggestion here is that we make two variables. And the first one I'll call distance. This will be the distance we're going to move each time. And I'm going to set that to the 10, semicolon. And the next one, I'll make another one for the amount that we're going to turn, which we've done this before. I'm going to call this turn amount. And there we go. So instead of 10, we're going to move distance. And instead of 30, we're going to move turn amount. And what I would like to do is, well, let's just see if that works first, and then that will do nothing different than we did before. All we did was replace those numbers with variables that are the exact same numbers. So I just want to make sure it works. So there we go. So if we, let's go back and look and see what happened there. What did I do to change that out? We're going to move a distance of 10. Oh, no, turn amount to 0. So turn amount, we want to set turn amount equal to, I think we had 30 before. All right, so let's compile that. And let's close that. And let's try putting one of these guys out there. And that should work. Spinning around like it did before. Okay. So now, we did something like this in our original Blue Man from a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. But what's different here is we want, if I open the editor, we want to allow the distance to grow each time. So I'm going to change this to distance plus plus to start with. We might want to do distance plus equals 5 or something like that. And I'm going to do turn amount plus plus as well. And let's see what happens. So let's compile this and close. And let's make one of these spinning, spiraling guys. And let's run this and see what happens. So it's way too fast to me to see what's going on. That's too slow. And now the amount that it's moving is huge, so it doesn't look very good. And it's getting to where the point where it's off of it's at the outer edges of our window. So let's pause that and let's reset it. And now that I'll could have dragged them right to the middle, I guess. Let's try it again. And I'll go slower this time, we can see what's happening. So he's going around, and the distance that he moves each time is growing, and our angle is changing to become greater and greater. So he makes sharper and sharper moves. So it doesn't spiral out like we would like. So I think what we want to do is, you want to play with this, but I think what we want to do is to try and also feel free to pause this at any time and go and work on yours and play with it and see if you can get it to do what you want, and then come back. You don't have to watch the video all the way through. Once you have an idea and you know what we were asking for and what you're trying to do. Okay, so let's take a look. And instead of turning, I'm going to start the turn amount up at what if I started the turn amount at a bigger number, like maybe 45? And I let the turn amount get smaller each time. Now, eventually it's going to become 0, and when it becomes -1, that's the same as 359 degrees. So I don't know if we want to go less than 0, but we'll see what happens. Let's compile it. We can always stop it we can always let it get to a point and then stop. And not allow it to get any smaller. Okay, so let's see. New SpiralMan. Put him right here, or her right here. It's definitely spiraling out. And it looks like a nice spiral getting out, and then it kind of gets away from itself. So, let's pause that. So maybe we don't want to move I think I like the idea of the distance growing, but I think at some point we want the distance to stop growing. So maybe we want to put an if in here after this to stop it. So let's pick a number. So suppose we do if distance is greater than, I don't know, maybe let's try 50 to begin with. 50. Then we'll do distance could spell distance. Distance equals 50. So let's set it to 50 so it would stay at 50 if it ever becomes bigger than 50. And then let's do the same kind of thing with the turn amount. And let's do if, and since we're subtracting from the turn amount, we want to do if the turn amount becomes less than, I don't know, maybe 5 degrees, maybe 10 degrees. We'll figure this out. Then we're going to let turn amount equal 10 degrees. So if it ever becomes less than a value, we'll have it stay there. We'll compile that and close that. And something about what we did it didn't like when it compiled. So let's open it again. So I guess I guess that's not a semicolon. I guess I hit a colon by mistake. Done that before. And let's see what happens here. New SpiralMan, let's put him out there. Let's run him. And I should have put him more to the middle, but you can see as he spirals out. Let's see what happened there. You got huge. So the number's still a little bit too big. So let's pause this, reset it. Let's open this again. Let's start the turn amount maybe at, I don't know, 30. And let's try starting the distance. The distance only started at 10, and then it got to 50. Let's change these 50s and not let them get bigger than 30. And let's see what happens. And if the turn amount becomes less than 10, we keep it at 10. Let's see. That might do what we want. And it's spiraling out. And it's spiraling out rapidly. It's going to be pretty good here at this point. It's not bad. So I'm going to leave it up to you to play with it a little bit more. And let's not lose the lady's head. And it depends on where you place it as well, but placing it in the middle. So I kind of like it. It's pretty good. I'm going to leave it as is. Your job next is to do the this is a clockwise SpiralMan. You can make a counterclockwise SpiralMan. You can make a corkscrew man. You can make a guy that does kind of spirals but moves to the right and as he spirals around. So anyway, that's today's lesson. Good luck. Let's have fun with this stuff.